Good afternoon, good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. With your kind permission, I would like to introduce at least 3 people here. They would also mount the stage, but I think that it's appropriate for me to introduce them to the audience. So we have in our midst the chairman of the Board of Governors of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. That is your bank. He's also the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs of the Republic of the Gambia. For your information, the Board of Governors is the highest decision-making body of the bank. And so we have our chairman here. Honorable Minister, say the creator, please put your hands together for him. He is the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs of the Republic of the Gambia. We also have another governor who is also the Minister for Planning and Development, Planning and International Cooperation of the Republic of Guinea. Honorable Minister, please put your hands together for him. He signed the MOU with us. Thank you very much. And then we have another director. He's a director of the bank. We have 2 levels of decision making at the bank. We have the Board of Directors and we have the Board of Governors. The Board of Directors members are appointed by the Board of Governors. We have Mr. Usman Ba. He's also a director from Senegal. Put your hands together for him. Good. Thank you very much. We have our Vice President in charge of operation, Dr. Olaguju Ashimolo. Put your hands together for him, Vice President of Operations. And we have the Vice President Risk, Dr. Maurice Soumaru from Cote d'Ivoire. Put your hands together for him. Right. This is the management team. Thank you very much. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think that this has been a very eventful and very insightful event. Thank you, Anita, and the other friend from Togo. I think you have done marvelously well, and we appreciate your effort. I didn't know that this event was going to be very insightful like that. I'm so much enthused. And this is just a maiden event. And therefore, we hope that you pardon us for all the lapses you might have identified. We believe that going forward, some of the lapses will not be evident again because once you start any project, beginning you have some challenges. But as you move forward, some of those challenges will be resolved automatically. Thank you very much. There are 10 lessons that I learned from this event, this 2-day seminar, forum. And with your kind permission, I want to just sum up all those things. I believe that this will be for your edification because we don't have any report. But I have carefully listened to all the presentations and all the speeches presented by our stakeholders. And I believe that these are the 10 major conclusions that one can reasonably draw from this forum. 1, agriculture technologies are critical for food security. That's the first one. Agricultural technologies, you are very much aware that if you keep on doing what we are doing, then we shouldn't expect a different result. It means that we need to add technology to our agriculture movement to enable us to actually produce more in terms of quality and the quantity, and to be able to address food security. Number 2, PPPs are critical for infrastructure. We need to partner the government, the private sector must partner the government to be able to address the infrastructure deficit that we have in our region. In ECOWAS alone, we have a deficit of about $6 billion annually. So you can count the number of, you can count the deficit that we have in terms of our infrastructure. Number 3, there is a need to de-emphasize sovereign borrowing to smart private sector borrowing, given rising national debt profiles. You know that most of our economies, by virtue of the arrangements that they have with the Bretton Woods institutions, cannot borrow from the international market. And therefore, it is important for us to pay attention to smart private sector borrowing. EBID has started. What we are doing is that sometimes we borrow to the member countries through private sector to enable them to continue their infrastructure initiatives. So it is something that we have already started as a bank, and so take note of that. That it's important that we actually pay attention to smart private sector borrowing, given the fact that most of our economies or nationals cannot borrow from the international market. Number 4, infrastructure bonds are necessary, matching revenues with the borrowing costs. Very, very important. As a bank, we are thinking of how to actually go to the bond market, issue bonds in the various countries, raise local currencies, and use the local currencies to be able to actually support infrastructure projects within the member countries. So it is something that is on our desk, and we are going to ensure its implementation. Number 5, we also learned that project preparation is very key to unlocking finance. Financial institutions should look at the ways of financing this to ensure project bankability. We have, I think, some of the panelists made mention of that. Right from origination is very important. Your project preparation is key. The president of the West African Banks Association made mention of the fact that, or somebody made mention of the fact that sometimes we don't even have business plan. As a bank, we have our financial requirement. It behoves all promoters to ensure that they come with very credible business plans and bankable projects to enable us also to respond appropriately. And so it is something that we have learned. All promoters, entrepreneurs here, you need to be mindful of that, so that when you come to us, you attract our attention and you get our financing. Number 6, the need to create markets for agricultural trade to ensure guaranteed prices for farmers. It's very, very important that we create a market. You see, if you keep on exporting our primary commodity products to the world market, then we are in for trouble. Because you realize that if we don't add value to our produce, we only go and get very insignificant amounts of money from our produce. Therefore, there's the need for us to ensure that we create markets for agricultural trade. When we do that, the farmers will also be encouraged, motivated to produce more, and in so doing, we also address food security. Number 7, building of storage facilities to store excesses produce to stabilize prices during the off-season. You know that it is very important for us to have storage facilities, so that in any given year, when there are excesses, we'll be able to store these in order to stabilize prices. Otherwise, in the lean season, prices for goods will go up, and that will also affect our economies. We learned this from this forum. Number 8, there is the need to develop financial instruments around carbon credit instead of selling them. I think it was made very clear today. Number 9, we have immense resources, including resources that will drive the future economy, that place us in a position to negotiate for a position of strength. We also say that where the same point comes, when we begin to also export our commodity prices, our primary commodity prices, it means that we don't have any money. Remember that when we're able to process this, we have high income elasticity on the world market. It is important that we should not mortgage our destinies by just offloading, by just guaranteeing or taking loans from international market and then using our natural resources to actually secure these loans. We should be able to negotiate strongly on these areas of our operations. And then last but not least, our universities churn out millions of students every year who need jobs. However, there are limited spaces for absorption. Therefore, entrepreneurship is the way to go. Structures, financing, and policy should be properly positioned to make this possible. Today, somebody made mention of the fact that we are producing a number of students, number of graduates every year, but the job is not there for them. So, entrepreneurship is key. And so it means that training is number 1, capacity building is number 2, and also financing is number 3. We need to support the young entrepreneurs for them to be able to actually fulfill their aspirations. I think these are the 10 important points or recommendations that I learned from this forum. I don't know whether it aligns with what you learned from this forum. Now, to conclude, I have 5 reasons why investors should come to West Africa sub-region. Let me make this statement. The marginal propensity to invest in Africa far more exceeds any other part of the world. I don't know whether you agree with me. Now, when you come to, West Africa, we have so many infrastructure and potential, investment. When you go to Europe, almost done. America, almost done. North America, almost done. Asia, almost done. But we have infrastructure deficit in Africa. And therefore, that's why I'm saying that the propensity to invest in Africa far exceeds any other continent in the world. Now, why we should invest in our sub-region? Number one, it has the largest population in Africa. Of course, if you look at the sub-region, we are about 412 million population. 400, which means that there is already a market for opportunities. So that's number one. Number two, the challenges we have in our region can also be turned into opportunities. Let me give you an example. For example, if you are talking about infrastructure deficit, it means that there is opportunity to invest in infrastructure in West Africa. So this is the paradox. The challenges we have been talking about also present opportunities. And it is high time investors actually took note of that and then invested in Africa. Number three, decent economic growth. Despite all the global shocks and also the growing middle class, this is a testament to the potential of increased patronage for consumer and for consumer goods. Once you know that there's a decent economic growth, it means that consumption is also very high. Number four, with approximately 65% of the population under 25 years, labor is in abundance and demand is assured. We learned today about 25% of our population is below 25 years, which means that labor is all over and demand is also assured. Last but not least, it has abundant natural resources which are scarcely transformed. I made mention just now, not only resources, but even agricultural primary products. There's the need for us to transform these and add value to these products so that when we export them, we'll get more money. I mean, in the layman's presentation, we don't have to export all these natural resources which are not transformed. And my Vice President of Finance made mention, industrialization is key. There's the need for us, for our leaders, to actually invest in industrialization, ensure that we have the relevant factories in place to be able to transform all our products and our natural resources so that we can export them to the world market and have enough resources to be able to support our agenda, developmental agenda. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate all of you for your time and availability. Indeed, our panelists have done extremely well. Their presentations and interventions were on point, and I believe that we are leaving this place fulfilled. Bearing in mind that we are going to make the difference in our world. On this note, I'd like to thank everybody, my planning committee, chaired by Dr. Anthony. Let me appreciate him. He is the director of risk of the bank, Dr. Anthony Emery. Congratulations, you, Anita, and our friend. Thank you very much, and everybody who has played a role in ensuring the successful implementation of this meeting, ECOWAS Investment Forum. It is my prayer that we'll meet again next year in a very, very fortified, position to be able to address other issues that bother and that affect our youth and that affect our region. Thank you very much. On this note, I would like to end here and thank all of you for your kind attention. Thank you. Thank you.